Shalom Israel with ISUPK started off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're under commanding General Yohana, where we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Put a one in the chat if the sound is okay. There's no problems here. We're gonna go over these, learn out the ways of the heathens, man, and be not dismayed of what's going on with this heathen out here. We good? One's in the chat.
Crystal.
Okay, good. So let's clap it up for class, man. Go ahead. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, a thumb to all my brothers. Yahweh Shema, Allah Hashem, Yahweh Shai to my sisters. I see we have a load of people out here. And that's what I'm glad you guys checking classes, because you got to understand out here, people running around searching for the ghouls and goblins out there, man. On this what is it, had Halloween yesterday, still running out here doing it. Yeah, I know. I was riding with my rib, and then she was looking out at the churches over there and saying, man, they got people over there, got carnivals and amusement parks and everything, holding it out in their parking lot, and they got the ghosts and the goblins and the ghouls, and we'll go over the origin of Halloween, of course, also, because these are the ways of the heathens. We're going to go over voting also. We'll just briefly touch into it, but just stay with us. You got any comments, make sure you put them in the chat. See, we got Officer Sharp putting your names. And this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge Hub. Make sure you get your name and check in the class so you can get your benefits for your name. I know some people already do for names. Some people still working on them. So Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge will give you a name once you've done your 6 months in class. And I know some people, and this LASHAWAN QADASH here. I'm Officer Kazak Part. We teach LASHAWAN QADASH. We teach the ancient Hebrew and the Syrian Hebrew. The ancient Hebrew and the Syrian Hebrew. The ancient is the original Hebrew that the Most High gave us, and we always read it from right to left. Of course, we're full of symbols, which we call characters. It may look like chicken scratch to some of y'all, especially the Syrian. The Syrian Hebrew looks, that's that second one down. And you can see the chart because I got a bigger chart this week, right? Bigger chart. Hebrew reads from right to left. There are 22 characters. Anybody know if there's 22 characters in the Hebrew, and there is how many characters in the ancient Hebrew? How many characters are in the Syrian Hebrew? Anybody know? Put that in the chat real quick. Relate to me. Let's build talkative related class here. Because right now I got the ancient Hebrew up on the board, and I'll write down what this means in a second. And of course, if you guys can write down what it means, let me know. Y'all write down exactly in the chat exactly what that means. But what I'm really interested in is how many characters does the ancient Hebrew have? I'm sorry, it has 22 characters. And how many characters does the Assyrian Hebrew have? And because the Syrian Hebrew is the Hebrew that we used. Of course, we didn't ask to use it, but the Syrians put us in captivity. They put us in captivity in Egypt also. We've been in captivity in Persia, Syria, Greece, Rome. Everybody has in captivity, man, you name it. And but the original Hebrew, that's what I have up on the board right now. And the ancient Hebrew is the original. Of course, that's 22. But if ain't nobody got it yet, what we say, we'll say it's 22 characters. Plus, there's 5 other characters. That means that there's actually 27 characters in the Hebrew. So that's because they're ending characters, and we'll get into that in a second. But what we have, let's read some understanding behind this heathen. We're going to go over LASHAWAN QADASH and connect it. Show some key words like words like the heathen. What evil mean? The evil name of evil in Hebrew. Simple. Let me write that down real quick. It's a word called Rai. Okay, and so it's like R like that. That's how you spell it, just like that, rye. That's how you spell that word right there. And of course, if you was going to do it, this word means evil. That's what's going on out here. That's what's going on out here when our people take. Let's give me another. Let's get the Syrian down here, just like that. Rye, uh, like that. That's the Syrian for the word rye. That word translates to be rye or evil. And that's what the customs have become out here. People have gotten used to here in this so-called America. This is a place of oppression. Oppressors have put us in, and pressure. The oppression of the heathens have placed us into a captivity, man, where our people just believe and do anything or for any reason. Well, let's read a few scriptures in here. Let's go to what? Jeremiah? Let's go there. Let's find out what can we do here? Let's put let's go to Jeremiah and find out, because what the Lord tells us not to do. What's that? Jeremiah the 10th, right? Let's go there. Jeremiah the 10th chapter, 2nd verse says this. Thus says the Lord, learn not. Now, first of all, here's that word right here. We can say it right here. Here's the word right here, learn not. Right there. It's right on the board in front of you. But you guys go ahead and write it down in English and transliterate what some of these already written in ancient Hebrew are. Well, the Bible says this: learn not of the ways of the heathen, and be not dismayed. The signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And I'm not going to go further past that, because we're going to talk about Christmas tree. But right now we're talking about the heathenistic characteristics of this so-called day called what? Halloween. Now let's get into that one right there. What did I say? Learn not the way of the heathen, verse 2. Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed of the signs of the heathen, for the heathen are dismayed at them. The heathen is dismayed. This heathen out here in America, they love to be looking at things that are not of God. That's just the nature of them, right? So where did Halloween come from? Let's find out. Somebody did me some good research, so let's see if we can figure that one out, huh? Can I use that? Let's see. Halloween. Let's find out. All right, y'all listen up close to me. Halloween, as we know, this is the day that people have made for ghouls and goblins and basically evil. That word right there, rye. Okay, so Halloween, as we know, is a celebration with roots in the pagan Celtic harvest festival of Samhain, which was observed in ancient Britain and Ireland on November 1st. Ancient Britain and Ireland, aren't those like Edomites over there? They don't sound like nobody came from Israel. This Halloween did not come from our people, Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. And that's why the Lord said, learn not the way and customs of these heathens. But let's finish. Let's read on, right? Samhain marked the halfway point between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice, the beginning of the new year. Now, first of all, you know they got the new year wrong. New year starts way down in past. So what's that, April somewhere? You know, and so you know they got this wrong. But that's what a heathen does. He get everything wrong. He got all this mumbo jargon talking about a Halloween, and this is what he continues to say about it, right? You talking about heathens that brought this customs to America, and let's finish reading it. Samhain marked the halfway point between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. That's where like that, you know, when the way the earth is positioned in the universe along the sun, and the sun, the way it hits it, that's where you get your autumn equinox. And I'm not going to get into that. And the winter solstice, the beginning of the new year, which is, of course, not the new year in November. That's, of course, not. Priests, these are fake priests now, held rituals. They held what? Priests held rituals, man. Okay. And people lit bonfires. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They go out and get some kerosene and some rags and some wood and light a bonfire and puff smoke go all up. Now we're talking about the customs of fake evil customs that the heathens of the Most High told us to stay away from. If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you tune into this class, you'll know that here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Command General Yohana, we don't practice no Halloween. You got the wrong place. If that's why this ain't Christianity up in here, man. So that's why you say you got the Christian churches. What do? They practicing Halloween because we see them out there. You know what surprised me? This before I go on, they will say, well, let's just finish reading here. Well, I'll get to it. Priests and held rituals of people lit bonfires and brighten the dark to brighten the dark. These heathens were scared of the dark. That's what they're basically saying. To brighten the dark, to scare away the supernatural beings. Ain't this a supernatural lie? To scare to scare away the supernatural beings. What the hell's that be? Right? So they were scared to go out at night and face them demons out there at night, the supernatural beings, right? People put on masks. Now, don't this sound like Halloween to you? They put on what? Masks. What did they put on? Masks to disguise themselves from the ghosts, the fairies. Long time ago, they used to have that word called fairies. I ain't gonna get into that, what that word meant like back then. And demons that were thought to roam this night. They were thought to roam this night. It sound like to man, them heathens with all them demons inside of them, they roam the night 365 days of the week. They're talking about thought to roam this night. But anyway, let's finish going on. But this is the day, Halloween. This is the day they're talking about. In the 7th century, Pope Boniface IV established All Saints Day in May. These people, they furthest thing from saints that you could ever be. I can go on and on and on, but they are not these people. These Edomites over here in what was I talking about? Britain and Ireland and those places over there. They the furthest thing from the saints, but yet they got a day and they want to name it All Saints Day. Y'all with me out there? I know y'all drinking y'all yan and your yam, your water. I know y'all, man. Stop and sit up here and comment with Officer Kazak Shapar on some of this now in the chat. They brought their Halloween. Check this out. When the number of Irish people immigrated to the United States in the mid 1800s. That's when all of this mess happened, because that's what we're talking about right now, right? This heathen custom, heathen day. To escape the Great Famine, they brought their Halloween traditions with them. What did it say? They brought their Halloween traditions or their evil conditions with them. That's that word right there, rye. Okay, with them. Okay. All right. They brought their evil customs with them. In Ireland in 1800s, involved carving of vegetables. Check this out. Carving of vegetables, usually turnips, potatoes, or beets. They didn't say pumpkins in this, but the biggest one is that little gourd called the pumpkin, right? To frighten the faces, to scare off the spirits, right? They found, there you go, right? They found pumpkins and other gourds native to the America, especially suitable for carving. This made the night before October 31st, All Saints Day. Now, this is they talking about calling themselves All Saints. They ain't all saints. Trust me, they're not. Right? Hallows Eve. Hence, they coined it to be Halloween. All Saints Day. And that's where we are. That's what we're talking about right here. The Bible says that the Lord says, let's go back, it says, learn not, and it want for us, see, it's telling you to learn not the way of this heathen that brought these customs in. Let's read it again, Jeremiah 10:2. Jeremiah 10:2. Thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. That heathen is those heathens that brought the customs all the way from Ireland, and where else? And England. Don't learn their ways, because the Most High knew that if our people, Black, Hispanic, American, would wind up here in America from all of the slavery, from all of the Egyptian slavery that we would put over here, and we would relive the same things that we're ashamed what we have gone through. We should be, okay? Because that's what from Egypt and Assyria, the Lord said, have you learned any shame when you were living in Egypt and when you were in captivity in Syria? You know, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of the heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. See, said of a custom of people in vain. Of course, you know, it went on to talk about the other holidays. One of them was Christmas, but we're talking about in Mannheim, where was it Mannheim? Something like that. One of those Heims places over there, where the people have learned the customs, and they have grabbed a custom called Halloween. And what I never could understand is how they could take their children, the heathens now, and this is something that our people that went ahead and got on to in these churches, and the pastors, they don't care. As long as the pastor's making money, the greedy pastor's making money, they're going to learn that custom too. Why? Because they know it's money behind that, because their people are learning the customs and the ways, right? But you see, they would take and dress their children up in costumes. Now, these costumes look like goose and goblins and ghosts, right? But in the writings that we got documented on what they said, they did that to scare and ward off the demons and the scary and all of the ghosts and goblins. So why are you taking your children and putting them on the forefront and putting masks on them to scare away the goose, ghouls, and goblins? Well, cause the grown up is scared. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. And that's what the heathen did. And what makes it even worse is our own people. Did it not? Our own people go there, and what do? They go and they sacrifice their kids and put on costumes and dress them up so that they can act like the heathen. When the Bible tells you, learn not the way of the heathen, did it not? So we're talking about, and here, so this word here, let's see, we'll erase that right here. Let's put some LASHAWAN QADASH involved in here. This word right here, anybody get the interpretation of what that word is? We're gonna put it in I don't know what. Anyway, here, let's take this word right here. This word here spells out this word, learn. Okay? That word right there, lamad. Anybody? That word right there. Now let's spell this word here, la-manda. Y'all see it on the chart over there, right? In Hebrew. That's how we know. If you look at the word, it says lamad. It is also learn not. So that word is all. Okay? That means the Lord don't want you to learn that word. It don't want you to learn what's getting ready to come after that. Not the word, but the Most High don't want you to learn the customs. Right? It says this. And here in LASHAWAN QADASH, we got La Manda. We got what's that connector there? What's that connector called? Independent? What's that one called? Dependent connectors, right? So you say La by itself, right? La, and then Mad. So Lamad means what? Lamad means, let's spell that word. L-A-M-A-D. That's what I want you guys to. Anybody else in that chat right there? Who read that? Who wrote that?
That's Trooper.
What do you got?
Checking in.
Okay. All right. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barak a thumb to all my brothers. Yahweh Shem Allah Shem Yahweh Shai to my sisters. But that's what that word is. So you got a trooper in class. Good. Lamad, la-ma-da. It means to learn. But in this case, we're telling you to learn not. That word right there says not. We'll put it up here. We'll put it up here because that's what it says, not. I wish I had some different color crayons there. I know I have them in the other room. I'll get them. But that's what that word means. Lamad, learn not. Okay? And we have a word over here called, let's say this word is called darash. Okay? Or Slovakia. Let's put not down here. I don't want to confuse people. And all up here. Okay? You can use la'a too, but the more better way is to just say all. Lamad, all, or learn not. Okay? And this will be darash. It goes like this. D-A-R-A-K, darak. Okay? That means the way of. Okay? Yeah. She said what? Oh, because Crystal, when you're doing a most of the time, about 90% of the time, 99 almost, I would say 90. You have a word like daraka or any word like that. It's not like it's like why isn't it lamada? Because the word is lamad, not lamada. There's another word that may be called daraka, but that's not this word. You know, we're the Most High made the language. You know, we don't. That's not when you say darak, you cut it off at the end because 90% of the time when you see this word here, darak, it's you usually don't carry the ah behind it at the end of the word. There are sometimes there are words like that. Okay? Sometimes there is. This ain't one of them. That's the best way to explain that. And then you get over here, you have here's a way to here's another one. You have a word called ha haga wa ya. Okay. Now here I have to, you can't say, Crystal, or anybody else in class, you can't say Hagawaya. I'm sorry, Hagawa, and then put Ya without putting the ah, because that's the sound. Why? Because I'm gonna have to put an M behind it. That means more than one. That means nations or heathens. The nation of heathens is what that is. Heathens. And also can be said to be nations because they're learning the ways of the nations. It's almost like saying they're learning the ways of America. America is a heathen nation. So over here's a good way to try to explain it. Hagawayam. Hagawayam. It's Hagawaya. But because I made this plural, I have to put the ma on it. But I don't want to say Hagawaya ma, because yam, when you put yam on the end of something, it makes it plural. It just so happened to be that Hagawaya is nation. I want to make it plural, just Gawaya. You have to say the ah on the end of this word because that is the word itself. Gawaya, Gawa, ya, ya. M makes it plural. So this is a plural here. I'm glad she said that. This makes it a plural here, this yum. Let me get my a color pen here. Slock it for a second, okay? done. Okay. All right, let's do this word right here. Yum. That word right there, or that word is a possessive adjective. In this case, it ain't a possessive adjective. I'll take that back. In this case, this is a plural. That is a plural of a word right there. Yum. But the root word on let me get to the word here itself. Let me break this word down a little bit better. Ha is a preposition. Ha is a preposition. And what does ha mean? It means the nations. So we say the nations. The. So I say Hagawaya. Gawaya just happened to be how you say nation. Y'all follow me out there? That's why, Sister Chris. Gawaya is how you say nation. And now when I put the ma on the end, that makes it plural. Gawayam. That makes sense, sis?
She said,
got it? Gawayam. Now, you can't have it. It's like saying, I mean, that's the base of the word itself. Qualifies and say that's how you spell it. But there are some words that are spelled that are left the ah off the end. But if you notice all our language, can they see the chart real good right there?
yes.
Okay. Good. If you notice all our language, in our language, you have ah, ba, ga, da. You hear ah. All you hear is ah. Ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, tha. All you hear is that ah sound, because that's the sound that's most prevalent in our language. So if I leave it off, you can bet there's a reason. So, but in this case, gawaya or here, or not ha over here. Matter of fact, let me put that in another pen so you can see that, so y'all can see the preposition there. That's what that preposition is. So we went over it a little bit here. Can everybody understand that now? That's the preposition right there, right before that word. Preposition always goes before the word or since to prepare the word for its root, okay? The root. The root is ga, wa, ya. You notice there's no ah after this. It's implied because the word itself is ga, wa, ya. I can't say gawe or gawa. I mean, it's got to say gawa, ya. That's just the way it is. Now, there are words like that. I mean, I can get into it, but the heathen nation, so learn not the way of the heathen nations. That's a sentence that you learned tonight. Learn a lamad, learn not all. And some people think, why didn't you say la'ah? Or like that. Okay? But I didn't say learn no, but you can say learn no, but another way of saying the no in this case is learn not or all. Okay? Not Allah, but all. That word is all. A-H-L, all. Now, why did I put the ha there? Because you need that. You don't want to say, if you say, anytime you see a ah in the beginning of the word, it's usually implied that it's going to have an H behind it. Why? Because that H is what makes all ah what it is. Does that make sense right there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what are we not supposed to be doing? We're not supposed to be going out here and learning the ways of the heathen on Halloween and putting our children up on costumes and going out on the road with goose goblins and did some people just got shot up recently here, man? Where was that at? Florida or wherever. People just got They got shot up in Miami, I think it was. There people get shot all the time, getting shot all the time because they're trying to do the customs of these heathens. That's our people out here, blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Now, I'll tell you what, how do our people go? Every week they go out and try to do a custom of the heathen. What's that biggest one? Somebody tell me in the chat. Let's see if they get this one. In the chat, tell me what custom y'all do all year long. Some of our people, most of our people. What's that? No, hold on. Anybody put it in the chat yet? You tell me if they agree.
Okay.
There's a custom of the heathen. Once it says, learn not the way of the heathen. Let's read that again. Shit, we'll read it. Learn not the way of the heathen. Thus saith the Lord. Yahweh said this now. Y'all come up. Have they come up with it? Anybody? Tell me what there's a custom that y'all do. Some of y'all, not all y'all, not nobody in ISUPK, I'm sure. Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians of our people do this all the time. There's a custom of a heathen that they do all of the time. And I'll be so glad when our people come back and get out of this garbage, right? It says, Jeremiah, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of the heathen, man. And for the heathen are dismayed at them, you know? So somebody, what are the customs they do every week? Anybody? I know y'all know. We'll give y'all some time. Huh? Anybody? Anyway, what did you have? Did you come up with that? Did you have that? Go ahead.
Is it birthdays?
That clap it up. Birthdays is one of them. Here's the biggest one. It's going to those Sunday churches, those wicked churches. They go every single week, learning the ways of the heathens, man. And that's they make it a custom, a custom. What's that word? We use that word. They make it a custom. Custom is kakwa. That's the root. Let's write that down. Customary, all the time, right? Let's write that down. You say nations or heathens or any one of them, but that's what they are. This word is a custom right here. Let's just write it down. What's that word? Ka. And we'll write it here like this. Church, clap it up for that sister right there. That's what I'm talking about. When they go to church on Sunday, they go to church on Sunday. That's the biggest custom that people go. They get their pig feed. They put it in the pot. They get the foil and get their Reynolds wrap. What else? What else they got in there? You know what I'm talking about. Got their ham hocks and all this turn. I ain't talking about the good foods. They take the worst foods and offer them to them gods. which this is our people, man. I'm just trying to make a pun of it because that's what it is. Learn not, the Bible says, don't learn the ways of the heathen. Because all that the Sunday church do is want to take your money anyway. And this ain't a class about Sunday church. It's just trying to say, learn not the ways of the heathen. Right? Lamat all Darak Haga Wayam nations. Or in the customs, you have a root word called kakwa. Right? That's the word that you want to use when you want to do that, you want to say, let's find out when you want to find out and the customs. Let's say if I want to say and all of their customs. Let's take that root word and just say and all their customs. Can I do that? Can I do that for y'all? Yeah. So let's do that. Let's take a word like let's take this right here, and their customs, okay? Don't even learn their customs. Because it's their customs, right? Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to put an S on there, because there's many of them, ain't they?
Yes.
Or we'll just say, and there are and the customs. I'll just say and the customs. I don't want to put there. I would say and the customs of the heathen, right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
So that word will be, the root word will be ka. Do I want to put, I'm gonna put this in, I'm gonna put, yeah, let's put it, let's put it instead, let's keep this in ancient Hebrew. How about that? Can I do that? Ain't nobody talking
Yeah, I want that.
about that. So that word will be, it will be this. Wa, ha, waha, let's see. Wahakwa. Let's see. That's it right there. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and put in a Siri and then I'll change it back over. Since that's what I got written in. Wahaka. Then I'm gonna put then I'm gonna put yum. How about that? Okay. How about that? And the root word for that whole drawn out characteristic of a word is this, is the root right here. Right there. So let's break this down some. Let's break this down. Ha. This is ha. No, it ain't. That ain't ha. Explain this a little better than that. Let's lock it for a second. Let's write it in here. Wow, sorry. Jesus. Yeah, I meant it to be wa. Wa, ha, ka. Let's see. We're going to say ka. I have to write this backwards like this or like that. Wahaka, kwa. Can they see that in red?
Yeah.
Yum. But I'll have to write this a little different because that don't look too good, does it? I'm writing backwards in Hebrew, so that ain't right. But
Okay.
how about that? Let's see that.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Okay. How about this? We have a word right here, and the customs. That means you don't want to learn the ways of the heathen. That's Lamat all the rock. You can say the ways. You can say Darak Yum. I remember last year I used this word Darak Yum. I put yum on the end and made it plural. But you don't need it. You can the rock, and you can say Hagawayam. Because if it's the heathens here, it's implied the way of the heathens. You don't have to say the way of the ways of the heathens. You can say that Darak Yum. You can say Darak Yum Ha Gawa Yum. I can. I just left it singular here and made it plural here. But here, check this out. And the customs. Wa. What's wa? Wa is a preposition. Okay? It's a preposition that means what? And. Okay? It's a preposition. Can they see that pretty good?
Uh-huh.
It's a preposition.
Yes.
Okay? And what's ha? Ha means the. Okay? That's what that means.
Mhm.
This is a preposition right here. This is also a preposition too. Both of these are. That makes sense?
Yes.
Both of those are prepositions, okay?
Constant.
Those prepositions means and the. You can use them for any sentence or any word that you want. Now, in this particular, we have the word kakwa. Okay? Kakwa or kakwa means custom. That makes sense? Dr. Bar checking in. Clap it up. Right. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Baraka Thumb Yahweh Shem Al Shem Yahweh Shai. Ka Kwa. All right. So we forgot our let's put this word right here. Slakia. Kwa. Forgot this. Put this right here. Kwa. Now let's put the ha sound in there. We gotta have that, right?
Okay.
We gotta have the ha. Or it's ha. Make sure I got that right. Okay? But that's what you find. Stop for a second. Slack for a second here. Let's read that again. In Jeremiah 10:3. Okay? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we have a root word. We have the customs. The customs of the people, like people, our people have gotten accustomed to Halloween, and we just said a custom that people go to church every week. That's a vain custom, man. That's a custom and vanity. Vain and vanity is the same as riot or evil. It's evil. It's an evil custom. That's what it is. So we're gonna say the preposition wa, ha, and the customs, kakwa, yum, plural. Don't leave that S off of there. They got more than one custom. Because they go up there, if they go up there and take their kids and sit them in front of and send them out there on the front line and dress them up to ward off their custom of the what is that, the goose, the ghosts and the goblins and the ghouls and all of that. And then another custom that people use, of course, we got a word called shakar in vain, but we'll get to that one. Another custom people use nowadays, what do they got? Voting. That is the worst custom. That's one of the worst customs because that right there dictates what our people do. You know, it's something. Jeremiah 2:33. Why trim your ways? Let's go to that one. Why go to all of these customs of these heathens just to be part of them. Let's go Jeremiah 2 and 33. Can we do that one? Let's go there. Y'all follow along with me. 2 and 33, right? Yeah. Any questions so far? I might answer it. If I got time. If I got to. 2 and 33. I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. It says this. Let's go back because the Lord he talked about it. The whole idea he talked about in Jeremiah is Judas. It's our apostasy that we did against the Lord, when we turned against the Most High. We in vain did some things. It says this, verse 2 and 30. In vain have I smitten your children. They received not correction because nobody gave them correction. That's Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. That's why we're sitting up here following what the heathen does, right? Your own sword have devoured your prophets. Man, our own sword. We fell on our own sword, man. Devoured our prophets. Yeah. 2 and 31, 2 and 30. Okay. We good? Okay. Your own swords have devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. Verse 31, O generation, see ye the word of the Most High. Have I been in the wilderness? Have I been a wilderness unto Israel? He's asking a question. It's more of a rhetorical question, but he's asking you. A land of darkness, that means we've been in captivity in here, basically smitten in the wilderness, going around worshiping some Halloween and voting for people who ain't even part of you are. So we'll talk about both of them. A land of darkness, wherefore save my people, we are lords. We will come no more unto thee. What? A land of darkness. Wherefore say my people, we are lords. We will come. In other words, they've gotten beside themselves, man. They want to believe that they don't need the Most High because they think that they got it all. They think they're the lords. It says, can a maid forget her ornaments or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. My people have forgotten me. That's what the Most High said. You got to be needing correction when you're going out here, going to Sunday church and eating and dressing up like ghouls and goblins to ward off evil spirits, man. So the Bible says this. Finally, it said Jeremiah the prophet says in 2 and 33, he says, look at here. Why trimmeth your ways? Why trimmeth thy way? Why trimmest thou thy way? To seek love. Now, y'all contemplate on that for a second. We hurting so bad up in here. We trimming our ways. In other words, the way that the Most High gave us is to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? And stay away from all of these voting booths and all of these things that will keep our people not knowing who we are. The Bible says, why are you going to trim your verse? Let's read it again. Verse 2 and 33. Why trimmest thy way to seek love of these heathens out here? Now you think about that. Why? The Lord's asking you the question. As if they know the answer, is just that they don't want to admit that they're in trouble. Why trimmest thou way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy way. You are seeking to trim. You are trimming your ways and doing the things in vain and evil to seek love of a heathen that don't love you. Okay? Wow. So, And the Lord says this, if we go on, it says, also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of poor innocents, man. Up under these pastors and all of this, up under your skirt tails, up under your tutelage, and up under your places where you're supposed to be protecting the poor innocent souls, man. You know, I have found it by it says, I have not found it by secret search. It don't take much to see this. What the Lord said. But upon all these, yet thou sayest, because I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I didn't do this. Surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with them, because thou said, I have not sinned. I have not sinned. Block it for a second. We don't believe that we out here doing against the Lord evil. You know, that's what it is. We don't believe this. We don't believe that we're going to church on Sunday and learning the ways of the wicked, the ways trimming. What did it say? Let's read that again. Verse 33. Why trimmest thou way to seek love? You know, gotten out of these customs right here. Gotten into Halloween. And there are many more heathen customs. You ought to get into the ISUPK. That way you won't have to trim your ways to seek love for under these Sunday churches and Halloweens and the stuff that I saw out there. People were they were having a Satan of a time. I mean a Hollywood good time. Didn't they? They were sitting out there with tall hats, small hats. What else did they have out there, man? They had all kinds of costumes, and then not to admit our people flying down on the voting booth to vote for who's that? Kamala Harris and your local neighborhood evil man Trump. Which candidate does it even matter? It matter which one? It ain't gonna matter. Now, also okay, let's see where we at. Yet you say you are innocent. Surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with thee. Thou sayest, I have not sinned. I have not sinned. Behold, I will plead with thee. I have not sinned. Why gettest thou about so much to change thy way? Thou also shalt be ashamed. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Verse 2 and 36. Why gaddest? Yeah, gaddest, to go about. In other words, the word gaddest means to go about. Why go about? That's what it means. Why go about? You know, to change the way. Right? Weren't you ashamed enough in Egypt? Why gaddest your ways? Why go about? Why gaddest thou so much to change thy way? It's a question. Why are you going about, man? Why you want to change your way anyway? I mean, the Most High gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, did he not? Then it says, thou also shalt be ashamed of Egypt, as thou wast ashamed of Assyria. Now, what did we do in Egypt? We were ashamed, man. We were ashamed because when we got there, and look at what we did, Joseph, to get there. We were ashamed that we had to wind. You think that we were proud there being in captivity? We wasn't proud, you know. And in Assyria, this is Assyrian language. I don't have it on the book. Yeah, here it is right here. That's the Assyrian language. It went from here to that language. You know. You don't think that we were even ashamed to have it? You knew something was wrong with us when we had to worship under a heathen. You know. Yea, verse 37. Thou shalt go forth from him, and thine hands upon thy head. For the Lord hath rejected thy confidences, and thou shalt not prosper in them. All these TD Jakes and all these Sunday go worship and all of this, bad advice people, all the what's the confidences? Anybody know? When it says, I reject your confidences. We're in LASHAWAN QADASH class. Here. Let's see. Anyway, when it talks about these confidences here, man, your evil game, your stuff. Like I confide in this, man. It said, Lord, I reject your Rolls Royces that you've gotten by ill gain. That's what he's telling these preachers who set us up like this, man. The Lord said, I reject you. That's what Jeremiah is talking about. You know? And then it says, this is how you know that the Lord's talking about us. It says, you shall not prosper in them. Look at it. And them stars been falling, and all our top-notch people, man, even in the Black Hispanic Native Indians, are falling right now. They're rejecting, the Most High is rejecting them right now. Okay? And that's what we're saying. All because if they would have been sitting up here in class, in LASHAWAN QADASH class, and learned in Jeremiah where we can break it down about don't fall for the heathens. And what's this with this voting booth though, man? How you feel you gonna go out there and learn anything on any one of these candidates? Somebody please tell me in the chat where that's coming from. I mean, you know, because if the Bible says learn not the way of the heathen, you know, what would it good to be to go and vote for one of these? Is any of our candidates on there? Camilla Harris she ain't one of us anyway. If you're gonna put your, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna put your vote in, go put your vote in for Commander Junior Hunter and ISUPK, right? Let's clap that up. If you're gonna do that, put your vote for Commander Junior Hunter and the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You know, just instead of going out there trying to pull a lever and watch Donald Trump still. I guess that they gonna say still no votes. They gonna wind up again saying that election stole from me. You're talking about one candidate that went and had his people storm the White House, defecate in one corner, and had people hiding under benches and headed for the tunnels. And if you think that's the man that's gonna bring you to freedom, then you had a Barack Obama, did he not? What did it say about him? Barack Obama, he's African. Learn not the ways of the heathens. These are heathens that you got to learn from under, and yet you voting for them. Right? You won't learn from them. You won't learn from this. Lamad all the rock yum, if you want to say yum there. Gawe yum. Ha gawe yum. Ha. And it's hard to write Hebrew and English at the same time because one, they're diametrically opposed to each other as far as writing is concerned. One writes right to left and one writes left to right. You know, gee. But what did the Bible say? Learn not the way of the heathens. So why are you sitting up here wanting to go out there and vote for Camilla Harris, for that matter? What is she doing for you? She gonna teach you how to get an abortion, right? And this is like they always it's almost telling on them from Super Tuesday, right? And then they have Halloween, which is just a joke itself, or and you put surprise, you know, we're gonna vote for our goose and goblins, basically what they're saying. I mean, you know, the Lord said this is foolishness, man. You shouldn't why premise your ways? Why you even want to get into a system that can't help you? Right? So what should we do when it comes to voting? What should we do? Anybody know? I'll tell you what. Let's say what the Bible said. Let's say what the facts is. Trump hates you. That's number one. right? Because he says what he says. What did he just say recently? Here you are, you want to vote. The Bible says, learn not the way of the heathens, right? And yet you want to learn under his ways. You want to vote for this man, and you want to get in there and put him in office. The Lord said, don't vote for no heathen either, right? Because Trump says this. He says, quote, liberty of America will begin when I become president. Y'all know what that means, don't you? Liberty of America, right? Liberty of America. You know, America was once under somebody's oppressive rule, which kind of slacked a little bit, but now it's back again. And they want to. I will be. What do you say? When I become president, the liberty of America will begin. Isn't there a quote? Isn't there some sort of there's some research to be done behind that? Liberty of America, right? I think it was an invoked Foreign Act of 1798. What? The liberty of America. That's what we got down. The ban. And then he said, I'm gonna ban all the sanctuary citizens from our people, man. He called them heathen people, but they really blacks, Hispanic, or Native Indians that were here before anybody were. They were here. This land right here, it was here already, right?
Yeah.
So what he talking about sanctuary cities? Was he? When I was listening to him, I said, is he talking about himself? I said, what? Was he gonna ban himself? Listen, the Native Indians were there already, man. And then Camilla pretend to be our people. And she's sitting up here saying that if a transgender wants, what she say, want to have their rights to be a transgender and be need the money to transform themselves or whatever, I'm gonna make sure I give them the money. Yeah, but look at this. If that ain't the way of a heathen is, I don't know what is. Is you call that a you call that a a worthy right to go vote for somebody who will want to treat you like that, and you're gonna vote for that? You're gonna vote for somebody that's gonna teach you to abort your babies, man? You're gonna vote for Donald Trump will teach you to take your people and you remember that was who was that was in office when they were on the horses beating our brothers from Haiti back. All they want to do is he had his sandwich trying to cross, go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
And did the heathenistic way. These heathens, I mean, they hate us so much, even in this, I think it was I'm getting off subject a little bit. The World Series game right there, where you saw him go in and take the baseball glove out of the black brother's hand, man. They banned that Edomite for life, I believe. But this is kind of stuff that we have to go through because we're under their rules and we're learning their ways. And the Bible tells you, don't learn their customs. Don't learn their ways. See? And LASHAWAN QADASH, that's what we're trying to teach you, what these words mean. Like we said again, lamad, all. And you see the way we have the word written in our original Hebrew ancient language, right? That makes sense? So we got, let me see. Slack it for a second. I'm looking for something here. But that's okay, let me see. Let's see here. We'll go to Deuteronomy 17 and 15. If you're gonna vote for anybody, vote for this Deuteronomy 17 and 15, right? Let's go here. What the Lord actually tells you what to do. Don't follow the heathens. If you want to vote for somebody, Most High is going to show you what I say, Deuteronomy 17, 15. Let's find that. This is when the Most High was trying to tell you that this is how we administer and give out justice, man, the correct way. So I say 17 and 15. Well, let's find it then here. Says this. When thou art, this is like when we were, let's read it back a little bit further here. And the man, according to the sentence of law which they shall teach thee, according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee to the right hand. Okay, got you. So Deuteronomy 17 and 12, we'll start there. It says, and the man that will, this is when the Most High is giving out the laws and is telling you how we should to administer justice to us, right? Let's say Deuteronomy 17, 12, then we'll get there. Okay. All right. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Yahweh, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. Even that man shall die. And in other words, don't presume that you want to do what you want to do. And thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. And this, you're putting away the rye or evil from Israel when you do this. Okay, what did the Lord say? He's going to give an exact judgment on you. That man shall die. Say, and all, where verse was I at? Yeah. Verse 13. And all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuous. Right? Well, let's look that word up here because I want to make sure we understand that word. We're showing you how, before we get in here, show you who you're supposed to be voting for. But we're going to get in here. That word is zawad, slakir. Okay? Let's get in here. In other words, to boil, presumptuously, to act, to deal arrogantly, to defy proudly. That makes sense? To act insolently. That means arrogant, proud. You want to be, the Most Highs don't do that. That's what he's trying to say, okay? Verse 14, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and possess it. This is when the Lord telling you when we went to our lands after our captivity, man, and shall dwell therein, and shall say. Now this is when you in your land. You want, you shall set up. I will set up a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Right? It says, thou shalt in any wise. Thou shalt, in other words, let's read that again. Let's go get that right. And do no more presumptuously. Verse 14, when thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. In other words, no one told you to do that, but the Most High is trying to tell you this is what you shouldn't do. Verse 15, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee. You don't set up a king who just because you presumptuously want to do it. It says, over him, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. What does it say? Let's read this again. Verse 15, which I had to read over here. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose one from among thy what? Thy brethren. What did it say? Once from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. What's Donald Trump? Stranger. Kamala Harris ain't even your brother. She a woman. Bible says something not a woman even teach. So you know that this is saying, you know this wrong. You know what you voted for is wrong right there. So strike two. We've got Halloween against you, right? If you going after the ways of the heathens, Halloween's against you. Now voting is against you. I mean, I can go on and on. But we're going to come on those two because that's what prevails in the land right now at this season right here, right? The season, what is the season telling us that? They got the ghosts, goblins, and goons out there. So we're going to have to say something about that. And then now they got the presidents sitting up here getting ready to vote on that. What's that, Super Tuesday? Go ahead. Any? No comments? Okay, good. Okay, so let's read that again. Let's make sure I understand that, because I had that all jumbled up. Verse 15, verse 17 and 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. One from among thy brethren. What does that mean? What does that mean? Go ahead, sis.
From your own people.
From your own people. Let's clap it up right there, right? From your own people. And your own people are part of the nation of Israel, these 12 tribes of Israel, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. We're the only one in the absolute world, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, that understands and keep that. Right? We don't follow Halloween. We don't follow these Christian churches. We don't follow Christianity. We don't vote and set up kings of other nations. And let's read that again. Am I right or wrong? Verse 14, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. What land did he give us? Over there in Israel. We've been kicked out of that land a while now. But the Lord said back then, when you come to that land, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, possess. You got your spear, your sword. You ain't nobody give it to you. The Lord made you go over there and push them heathens out of that land. So if he pushed you out of the land, why he want you to have their customs? Does that make sense? That don't even make sense, does it? Check this out. I just don't understand how people sometimes, man. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, what the Most High giveth thee, and shall possess it. When the Most High give us this land, man, that was back that time would have been Israel. Of course, we've been kicked out of the land. We won't know our land ever again. So the Most High come and step off that chariot. When Yahushua step off that chariot and we restitute all the laws again, right? Because they sure enough ain't prevailing down here unless you're in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. They sitting up here voting for Donald Trump, voting for they ain't even a man. They voting for some Kamala Harris. Got our black people pulling the lever, right? Check this out. Let me read it again. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say. Now, this is what our fools people, because you're gonna have some of our Pharisaical brothers over there saying, hey, let's put up TD Jakes. Yeah. Why? Because he's following the customs of well, we won't use one worse than that. But it the Lord didn't put this king in place. Don't you put him in place? So let me reread that. And shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. What is that saying? You see? In other words, I tell you what, we'll go get one of those Moabites and we'll set them over our land. We'll go get one of those Edomites and set them over our land. You follow me? Or any of the heathens, anybody that have put themselves in a heathenistic way. Okay, well, let's finish reading it. In other words, the Most High said, don't do that. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. In other words, the Most High gonna choose this king or this person in charge, right? One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. In other words, if you're gonna grab a king, make sure he be one from among your brother. You got that right? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm saying, go ahead. Because back then you had all the Pharisees. They wanted to be kings over our people too. When they got the custom of the heathen ways, now they're our brothers, but that's a whole other lesson right there. But the Most High said, look what they got us into, running these Sunday churches, man. The Lord said, let me set up a king from amongst you, David. right? Yahushua, David, Solomon. That makes sense. Set somebody over. Back then, before then, we had judges like Samuel and who else? Some other judges. I'll think of them in a second here. Set king over thee. Thou shalt mayest not set over the stranger over thee, which is not thy brother, right? But yeah, we'll get off of that one right there. But that's back then we had judges also. Let's see. Let's see. Who do we have? We had judges. We had anyway. I'm gonna get into that one right there. That takes too much effort to. But anyway, you get the point, right? The Lord Saul, even Saul, but Saul had to be. Who's that? Somebody got something in the chat right there.
Crystal was just clapping it up.
Well, let's clap it up for Crystal. She's exactly right. Clap it up. Exactly right. So the king that you want to set up over you is a person who the Most High has appointed, and it ain't usual about nothing. It will be a person. Anybody else with something there? It will be a person. It will be a person that the Most High has appointed. You can bet your sweet bippy, or you can bet an understanding that it will be one of our brothers. And I say put in a vote for Commander General Yohana. We'll have plenty of money for families and food and vegetables and fresh water and housing, right? And you sit up here. The Bible ain't nowhere. Did it say it's amongst their brothers? Did it say anything about Kamala Harris? Did it?
No, sir.
Oh, come on now. Now maybe I'm reading something wrong, right? Did it say anything about an Edomite called Donald Trump?
No.
You see, the Lord knew that they would do this. He knew that they would go out and try to vote for people who really ain't part of us. The Most High knew that would happen. That's why I had to bring it out in class right here. And then we'll wind up learning the customs, right? So that's why you don't want to set up anything that a heathen has set up. You don't want to follow anything that he has done. You want to separate yourself. Now you say, well, what would I do? Well, the first thing you do is just separate from that heathen, right? Separate from this devil, right? How you gonna? In other words, you got to do what? Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourself together. Get some dignity about yourself and understanding. Gather yourself together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desired. We're not desired up here. You know we're not desired. They'll never give you no candidate on the ballot box. They've been fooling us for how many years? they voted for a black man, I think. Well, how many years? I don't even know how many. They claimed in the Continental Congress they had a black president, and all this. All right, that's a whole nother lesson for study, but that ain't. And since the nations have been formed under this, because they disbanded that Continental Congress, if I'm not mistaken. So the nation, we are not desired. That means they ain't gonna give us no vote. Why you think they call it the in Iowa, the White Caucus? I didn't say that word. That's what they said. White Caucus. And that's what they said right there. Mm-hmm. In other words, I think that's what it was. Yeah. But this caucus right here guarantee you that they're going to elect who they want to elect. And sure enough won't be a brother from amongst us, as the Bible says, right, in Jeremiah. It ain't going to be there. That ain't going to happen. But the Bible tells us in Zephaniah 2:1, let's read it again. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together. It has to say this twice. O Gawayam, O nation, that's O nation, not desired. We ain't desired. How you know? Because they beating us down in the street every day. That's why. How you know we ain't desired? You know, hey, listen, they ain't gave us no candidate. Say, here's one, Barack Obama. Here's a candidate for you. He's black. He ain't even black. He's from some, what African nation he's from? I don't even know. Kenya. He says dad from Kenya, his mom's Esau, Edomite. So that ain't your people. But yet everybody went out and voted for him, man. They shined their shoes up and went out, had their little drink of water in their hand, and they crackers and cheese and water to stand in line and stand the test of time to pull the vote, the candidate, and find out that this man is African as all get out. You see, you a nation not desired when they can fool you that easily, man. That's you don't learn the ways of the heathen. The ways of the heathen is deception. Why you think they call them a devil? These Edomites. Why you think they do that? Of course, all these other nations are Gawayam. All of them. Okay? All right. Get away from this devil, man. What does devil mean? It means deceiver, right? That's why I said white man's called the devil, right? Simple as that, man. Most subtle beast in the field. Okay? Simple as that. You got to separate from him, but dog, or to become holy, or which when you become separate, you will be QADASH or holy. But first, you got to sever yourself, or badal, to cut like that. Cut it off. You got to tell that family, nah, I ain't eating no more. I ain't eating no more than pig knuckles, pig feet, and a pig in the jar. Sorry, I ain't voting for no Donald Trump. I ain't no Kamala Harris. Don't get mad at me because I ain't gonna do it. I ain't putting my kids on no Halloween costumes no more. Sorry. And you know what's the next holiday they get around coming up in here? Where they beat up our people and set us back during the Trail of Tears, man. I ain't going out there to do that day either. What's that? Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving. How they gonna be up there? Who they thinking? Thanksgiving. They thanking themselves, and we sitting up here buying it. Hook, line, and proverbial sinker. You see? And then our people, he called those people, anybody that would go after this heathen and fall for him, and the Edomites, you don't even fall for these Edomites and the devil and all that. You of your father the devil, man, if you do that. Okay? All right. The cure for the black man's problem is that we separate from this Babylon America. That's our cure. Okay? The cure from putting on these Halloween masks, the cure from going to these Sunday churches, the cure from pulling these voting booths is to separate from this heathen Babylon nation. Okay? This Gawayam, those heathens. To get away from these heathens, Gawayam. Okay? That's a cure. Well, these devils are our what? They're our oppressors. You got to get away from them. Don't compete with them, man. Don't try to compete in their arenas and their basketball and their football and their entertainment. You see what he got, P. Diddy, and what's the other one?
Yeah.
Young Thug. He lucky to get out with some probation, whatever. I don't even want to get into that, man. Leave that for somebody else in another class. But I'm just trying to tell you, I'm here at LASHAWAN QADASH class trying to tell you that that the customs that these people present to us, you don't want to get into follow their customs. You know, you do so many bad customs and bad things under them, you actually teaching them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, got all these gays and lesbians and all this stuff, man. These are bad customs and things that we've learned under Esau. Bad. We got our own people. We don't even love each other, man. You know, got fake camps teaching us to hate our brothers. You know, turn them in. You know, all because you've learned bad customs and ways. Now you want to present yourself bad. You know, you want to learn their ways. You know, don't. Wow. It says in 2 Corinthians, says, wherefore come out of from among them and be separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean, and I'll receive you. In other words, you need to be separated and divide yourself, man, from these people. Get away from their religions and their gods, man. You know, and it says this. Here's one text we'll read before we finally end class here. It says in Exodus, what's that, 8:23. This will be amongst one of my last ones here. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall the sign. In other words, the Lord, when we were in Exodus in Egypt, the Lord said, I'm going to put, when we leave from here, out of this land here in Egypt, but y'all forgot so soon, the Most High said, I will put a division to get away from their religions, to get away from their voting booths, to get away from their eating habits, to get away from all that. It said, I will put a division between my people and thy people. Okay? And tomorrow shall this sign be. The Lord did that as to help us in Egypt. And look what we've gotten ourselves to. We are ashamed of what we've become. Okay? Here, this is being under these customs to separate the root and the cause of the black man's demise is to recognize that there is a reason why our people can't get off drugs, man. There's a reason why we getting high blood pressure because we getting we under these people customs of eating these cats, rats, and dogs. Right? Under the stress of eating all this stuff. But why the women arguing with you all the time? Why the children don't obey you? Why we remain poor and in poverty, man? Because we under the customs of the heathens. That's why. Why we can't trust a brother? Why we can't make enough money for black men to support our families? Because you need to get and separate yourself from the evil customs of this Edomite and of these nations. Okay? All right? Why is that? That's the first thing when you do. Because when you separate from this Caesar Borgia and his churches, separate. That's what you need to do before, you know, we don't get too much in deeper now. I start going to a whole nother subject. But when you separate from Esau, you'll realize what customs that you were in. You realize that you were voting for a man that don't, or in this case, a woman, my love, for a woman and or a man that don't mean anything for your people. He's not one of your people. We've read in Jeremiah where it says you ain't supposed to be voting for nobody unless he's your own brother. I mean, well, it was Exodus, I'm sorry. What was it? Deuteronomy, I'm sorry. Deuteronomy 17. Jesus, let me find that. Let me make sure I done said that. Let me make sure. And the Lord said, only vote for people. I think it was Deuteronomy, I believe, here. Am I right? Yeah, I got me all. I believe it. What I say? Deuteronomy 17:15?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. I believe it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee. Don't set that man or that king that you choose presumptuously over you, man. That makes sense? Yeah, that's what it is. Don't do no more presumption, man. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over. Don't set them heathen kings over you. That's the point. That means you ain't got no business being in that voting booth. That would help separate you. But that's a good start for you. Your real first start is to get out of these Christian churches and drag an organ and throw it in the streets. Okay? Burn it. If you want to have a bonfire, burn that. Well, I ain't telling them because somebody go out there and try to burn an organ in the street. Take it in your backyard, take the axe and break it up or sell it. Get some money for it. That's the same way of just burning and getting rid of it. Let some give it to, sell it to the heathen. Give it to them. Hell, yeah, that's all right. Don't even tune it. Am I right? In other words, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brothers shalt thou set a king over thee, that thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So if after reading all that, if you go out there in that voting booth and you vote for somebody, You might as well say I'm right back in Egypt all over again. You might as well say you back in Esauville and being under the pressure ship. That's why Donald Trump know that he can go and get and use you at any time, because he see from the history of this nation, we've been following him and his customs for those people and their customs all the time. We're supposed to be learn not the way of the heathen, and we've been following the heathen customs, his waha kawayam all this time. And don't you think they know that? You don't think they know that? Wahakwa ha yum. You don't think they know that? They know that. They know that we've been following their customs. It's time to separate, to break it off. The badal, cut it off. Wu separate. You, badal ka. Own that separation. Badal ka. B-A-D-A-L. Badal. Write that word down. Separate. That'll be the last thing I put on the board here. How about it? Can I write that down? Badal. Under Hebrew, right? Ba, da, and that's the B-A-D-A. Then you have a la, badal. And then you want to write a ka on the end. That's a ka. What that ka sound at? Yeah. Badal ka. Oh, there it is right there. Badal ka. I forget sometime myself. Badal ka. That means you separate from this heathen. You know, don't wait for nobody else. Talking about, come on, man, let's go down here. You separate. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of that camp. If you're in that fake Hebrew camp, get out of that. Right? If you're in some gang, get out of there and separate from them. If you getting ready to go down and vote and get out of that understanding. If you're down here trying to put on a Halloween mask and take your children down here, separate from that mess. Get out of that church, whatever that is, and separate. Badalka. You separate. That's what literally means. To separate. Okay? So own up to that separation. All right? That it right there? We good? Any questions in class? Okay. We're going to end class and do some Hebrew announcements here. Can they see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to read some Hebrew announcements. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Barak Atham, all my brothers, Yahweh Shemar Alatha, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And then we're going to end class. Let's see. Okay. What was I doing? Let's see. Yeah, I got it here. Yeah, separate from these heathens, man. Don't be part of their abominations out there anymore. Just get yourself out of that. That makes sense? You know, don't be part of them. As simple as that. Not that hard to understand, is it? Oh man. Wait a minute here. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Let's read this. All right. We are the ISUPK, start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for the new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits. For 6 months, they are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, 8, and 10 means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'asharah. 10% of every penny or increase the Most High gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teaching, priest fund, the free will offering for the priest. Not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. We have upholding convocations. We'll say this one. We have the next one is going to be the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah. 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. Wednesday, 25th December 2024 for 8 days. You find that also in Maccabees. You'll find it in Maccabees 4, 52, and 61. That makes sense? That's Hanukkah. But make sure you govern yourself accordingly on that one. Make sure you guys pay your tithe and offering too, right? And also remind Akim and Akwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shoes, pants, headband, and scarf, right? We'll end the class. We'll salute out the class for our brothers and our sisters also, right? Yeah, that's good. Okay. We'll salute out the class for our brothers and sisters, right? Madam Shabbat, Imagine. Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Atham, Yamata, Sar, and face the sisters. Madam Shabbat, Amadium. Barak, Yahweh Shemar Alathan, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shema, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Yamata, class dismissed.